Unfortunately, you white racists and Jewish supremacists are wrong. Jesus cannot contradict God. God and Jesus are known by their righteous acts. They're exalted by justice and righteousness, truth and wisdom. Isaiah 58:5. Is this the kind of fast I have chosen? Only a day for people to humble themselves? Is it only for bowing one's head like a reed and lying in sackcloth and ashes? Is this what you call a fast, a day acceptable to the Lord? Is not this the kind of fasting I have chosen, to loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke? Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? When you see the naked, to clothe them, and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood? Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help, and he will say, "Here am I." If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing finger and malicious talk, and if you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness and your night will become the noonday. So what's going on here? It says God is not listening to the Jew or Gentile or anyone else who's not doing the right thing. He said, why should I help you? You're doing the wrong thing. Why should I help the white people in denial? You're doing the wrong thing. Why should I help the Jews in Israel, the Jews abroad? You're doing the wrong thing. Why should I help the black people, the Asians, the Hispanics, Native Americans? Why should I help any of you? So God's saying, God made justice to say, do the right thing, or you're not right with the universe, if you want to say, but certainly you're not right with God. It's a no-brainer. The stated theme of most religions you've heard of. Pretty straightforward. Jesus cannot contradict obvious justice. The day of judgment is about justice, not contradicting justice. Okay, so let's go through this again and let's make it clear why I'm right and they're wrong. First of all, this is Isaiah 58. In the next chapter, Isaiah 59, it's about no one helping the righteous one, and he has to lay them desolate, right? They predicted this thing since before Christ, that this thing was going to come to a head. The cults in the world, the governing classes of the world, the trade route people, they're all unfair, horrible, horrible people. Their predecessors are going to be horrible. It's going to come to a head. There's going to be one righteous person left. He's going to have to try to take on the world by himself. He's going to die. The world's going to be sealed in hell with no way out. We even see it in the stories of Egypt, right? If anything happens to the Pharaoh, the last righteous person ever, the top martial artist, etc., the sun will be blotted out and the people will necessarily die. We see that in Revelations, okay? All these religions are saying the sun is connected to righteousness and justice and so on and so forth in terms of what it spiritually symbolizes. And if anything happens to the last righteous man, or if anything happens to the alpha line that God chose, that God can protect them because he made them the top martial artist, healthy type of people, wise, etc. If anything, if the continuity is broken, which it will be definitively with no way out and no way back after I die, that the people will be spiritually dead. They'll be useless, worthless, no justice, no righteousness, no faithfulness, no truth, no love. They don't take anything seriously. Don't take marriage seriously. Don't take, martial arts seriously. Don't take being a man seriously, on and on and on. Justice, righteousness, honor, all the martial art principles, they don't take seriously in their pure form. Okay, so let's read this again. Is this the kind of fast I have chosen, only a day for people to humble themselves? Is it only for bowing one's head like a reed and lying in sackcloth and ashes? Is this what you call a fast, a day acceptable to the Lord? So look at the word bowing. Bowing, B-O, we can turn around O-B. O-B meaning King Hard Hut Temple Essence Center Core. Okay, Kuro O-B Black Pill. Bowing. How many of you think that's a coincidence? It's not. The word wing, right, like an angel. Okay, to traverse through justice, through the path of righteousness and justice, to go up to heaven and come back down as the top martial artist. If you do not understand I'm right, you are one stupid fuck. What is more obvious than I'm right about that? Verse 6. And so it's not just a day, it's every day, every moment of your life. Verse 6, is not this the kind of fasting I've chosen? To loose the chains of injustice. To not bring about injustice. 100 years from now, people are going to be so hopelessly hooked to technology and psychology and ill-gotten gains, even if they end technology and psychology right now, that there's no logical way to trust the government. There's no logical way to trust anyone to say, hey, we believe that the Messiah has come back. After I'm dead, it is laughable. It is ridiculous. It is extreme mockery to even pretend a single martial artist or church or government or anybody who thinks they're mature or righteous is righteous. It's fucking ridiculous. unbelievable. It's preposterous. It's outlandish. It's frivolous garbage at best. Okay? Is not this the kind of fast I've chosen to loose the chains of injustice and to untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke, to break every yoke, not hook them up more to technology, technological control, mind control, psychological control, coercion. They've been advancing these techniques. They haven't been discarding them. Okay? You're supposed to break these yokes, not embrace them, not refine them. Is it not to share your food with the hungry? Why 9 million people starve to death every year? The European governing class, they all know each other, basically. They could all get together and say this ends now and end world hunger damn near overnight. But they don't do that because they're selfish, fucking image-grubbing weirdos. Like, oh, don't be silly. Oh, we have to look superior. Oh, kill everybody. They made the word AIDS, right? Alpha ID. Who gets aided? Who helps who? We're not going to help you until you worship us like we're gods. Just a bunch of scum. Okay? Is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? When you see the naked, to clothe them, and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood? The whole world is your own flesh and blood. Okay, but what have you been doing? Been starving them, sexually exploiting them, drugging them, child molesting, on and on and on. Thieving, assaulting, just horrible, horrible people with horrible cultures designed to break the human being and just take their soul. Verse 8, then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. Okay? They're sick. They're deluded. They are severely mentally ill. The whole world is. They think they can cheat me out of my right to lead when they're acting like sniveling, fanatic, survivalist worms clinging to the filth that is the world and saying, oh, I want to live. I want to reproduce. I want to do what they say, acting like bitches. Their cowardice is so extreme that they're severely mentally ill as a result. It's despicable. It's pathetic. Then what is God saying? He said, your light will break forth like the dawn. Your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you. He's saying, in order to reward you, right? Part of your rewards, part of what makes you great is your righteousness going before you. Your righteousness being projected. It's like my righteousness right now, except for minus all the sabotage and the stupid geek fucking interference. Okay? Your righteousness will go before you. You'll be great, mighty, righteous people of God, but you rejected it. You wanted to seal your kids in hell in mental illness and then pretend that I'm mentally ill for calling you on it. Despicable. Then you will call and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help and he will say, here am I. Instead of you guys saying, why should I believe? All these atheists, 10% in America, as the story goes. They say, why should we believe? I don't see any evidence, acting like complete sniveling worms, cowards, worthless pieces of trash, not a speck of masculinity in the entire group and the entire rest of the world. Except for my parents are blameless. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing finger, malicious talk, pointing the finger in the wrong direction. Of course, in the New Testament it says, first remove the log from your own eye, then you'll see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. So you're supposed to judge, but you're pointing at your fingers in a malicious manner because you've cheated me out of my right to lead, and soon you'll be sealed in hell. Thanks for coming out, you arrogant dogs. I did not come for the dogs, the unreasonable trash that want me to make a compromise, but to make sure that it ends the way the Bible says. No one is going to help me, and anyone who does, it's probably going to be few and far between, and then we'll leave, and then you're all done. Under no circumstances anyone to pretend to be a martial artist, religious, or have a vow of marriage, or pretend to have love in their heart, or any of the martial art principles, and you know what they are: discipline, determination, will, on and on. They're human principles. Okay? Under no circumstance. The punishment gets worse for them and their offspring if they do. Okay? To satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will will rise in the darkness, and your night will become like noonday. If you have any questions, please ask me.